Hey everyone! So, you're getting ready for the IELTS General Training test, and you probably know just how high the stakes are, right? But what if I told you there's a secret weapon hiding in plain sight? Yep, I'm talking about the official practice materials. Today, we're going to break down exactly what's inside and how you can use them to really seriously boost your score.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the official advantage. Basically, why these tests are way better than some random stuff you find online. Then we'll jump into listening and speaking practice. After that, we'll focus on reading and writing, which are specific to general training. And to finish up, we'll talk about your path to practice, how to make all of this work for you. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, the official advantage. With tons of resources floating around, you might be wondering what makes these particular practice tests the gold standard. Well, let's break that down.
Let me ask you something. Are you feeling just a little bit overwhelmed by all this IELTS prep? Because if you are, you're not alone. It's totally understandable. You've got so much on the line. Immigration, a new job, university. The pressure is absolutely real. And just finding the right way to study can feel like a test in itself. That's exactly why we're zeroing in on these official materials today. They cut through the noise. Okay, and right here, this is probably the single most important thing you need to know before you even start practicing. Listen up. The listening and speaking parts, they're the same for both the academic and the general training tests. But, and this is a big but, the reading and writing sections are totally different. You have got to get this right from day one. Seriously, you do not want to waste your precious time studying for the wrong test.
All right, let's dive into the first big section, listening and speaking practice. This is all about training your ear and your voice. And remember what we just said, the practice stuff for these two skills works for both the academic and the general training test. So let's see what you're up against.
First up, listening. You get 30 minutes. That's it, 30. And let me tell you, this is not just about whether you understand English. Nope, it's a test of how fast you can process information while the clock is ticking. That's why practicing with a timer isn't just a good idea. It's absolutely non-negotiable. You have to do it.
So, the test itself is split into 4 sections. You're going to hear a mix of things, some everyday chats between people, some more formal monologues, kind of like a lecture. And here's the real beauty of using the official practice materials. They come with the actual audio files. This means you can create a perfect simulation of the real test environment right from your home.
And they're going to throw a whole bunch of different question types at you. I mean, it's a huge variety. You might be filling in notes, labeling a map or a diagram, answering multiple choice questions. The list goes on. Getting comfortable with every single one of these formats, that is your best defense. No surprises on test day, right? That's the goal.
Okay, next up is speaking. Now this one is surprisingly short. We're talking just 11 to 14 minutes. But don't let that fool you. It is an intense one-on-one interview with a real examiner. Think of it as your big chance to really show them what you've got when it comes to conversational English.
The whole thing happens in 3 parts. Part 1 is kind of a warm-up, just some questions about familiar stuff. Then in Part 2, they give you a topic on a cue card and you have to talk about it for a bit. And finally, Part 3 gets into a deeper, more abstract discussion based on your Part 2 topic. Now, this is where the official practice materials are an absolute game changer. Why? Because they give you the prompts, sample recordings, and transcripts. You can literally listen to a great answer and then compare it to your own. That's an incredible way to figure out where you need to improve.
Okay, let's switch gears. We're now moving on to the sections that are completely unique to the general training test, reading and writing. This is where we leave the academic world behind and focus on the kind of practical, everyday language you'll actually use.
So for the reading test, you've got 1 hour, a full 60 minutes. Now, in that time, you have to get through several texts and answer 40 questions. Let's do the math on that. That's only 1.5 minutes per question. So yeah, practicing your pacing, it isn't just important, my friend. It's everything.
And this is the biggest difference you'll see. Forget about dense academic articles. For the general training test, the content is all about real-world stuff. We're talking advertisements, instruction manuals, workplace notices, things you'd actually see and use. And another great thing, you can practice for both the computer-based and the paper-based test. So no matter which one you signed up for, you can prepare for that exact experience.
And just like with listening, get ready for a wide range of question types. They really want to test all your different reading skills. You could be matching headings, wrestling with those tricky true, false, or not given questions, or filling in a summary. The key thing to remember is that each type of question needs its own little strategy to tackle it efficiently.
Now, for writing. You get 60 minutes here too, just like in reading, but there is a twist. In that 1 hour, you have to complete 2 completely different tasks, and that means managing your time between them isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely critical.
So what are these 2 tasks? Well, task 1 is writing a letter. It could be formal, semi-formal, or informal, so you've got to get that tone just right. Task 2 is writing a short essay on a topic they give you. And you want to know the best part? The official materials give you model answers. This is pure gold. You can literally write your own letter and essay, and then compare it side by side with a high-scoring example to see exactly what they're looking for.
Okay, deep breath. We've walked through all 4 sections of the test. So now, let's pull all of this together. Let's talk about how you can take these amazing tools and really get the most value out of them, building your own clear path to success.
Look, when you boil it all down, this is the core value right here. Using these official tests means you get totally comfortable with the format. No surprises. You experience the exact kinds of tasks they're going to ask you to do. You get to test yourself under real, timed conditions, which is crucial. And maybe most importantly, you get to review your work against model answers. It creates this perfect feedback loop that helps you get better and better and better.
You know, there's a quote in the material itself that I think just says it all. It says, "We want you to do well on your test." And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? These aren't meant to be tricky things to trip you up. They're tools. They're designed to support you, to help you show up on test day and perform at your absolute best. They are on your side. So, look, now you have the tools. By really understanding the structure, practicing every single question type, and getting that timing down, you stop just studying. You start training strategically. The path forward is crystal clear. So the only question left for you is, are you ready to begin?